Whenever. Hello and welcome to tonight's presentation about direct instruction and natural environment teaching. Thank you all for attending virtually. This is sponsored by Trinity Services and Abilities Behavior Services, and then also the Millstadt Library and the grant that the Millstadt Library has of Libraries Transforming Communities. I'm going to talk about direct instruction and natural environment teaching from a applied behavior analysis lens. But first, I'm going to talk a little bit about what is applied behavior analysis. It is the science of human and any organism's behavior. So behavior is. It is different in other environments and contexts for people and organisms. It's unique to the individual. It can increase, decrease, or stay the same over time. It can change in form and function, which is just a fancy way to say it can look different and people can do different behaviors for different reasons. It's sometimes learned. It's anything an organism does. And overall behavior is communication with other people. Breakdown on the left side of some behaviors that you can work on in direct instruction or natural environment teaching: gross and fine motor, communication and language, with too many things to talk about of how you can increase communication and language. Some concepts, basic and advanced, like opposites, synonyms, antonyms, direction sequencing routines, how to complete, for example, the routine of hand washing, toileting, taking a shower, or making a bowl of popcorn. Self-care, that can look like how to wash your hands properly, similar to the directions or sequencing certain routines. Anything that an organism does that can help take care of themselves. And then any and all academic skills can be taught using direct instruction or natural environment teaching. In the area of social behavior, you can look at something, again, from advanced to more, from basic to more advanced, like imitation of others, whether that be within play or somebody's actions, like imitating a workout video or imitating saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Greetings and conversations with others. Again, that can go from basic to advanced, multiple types of greetings, or how to have back and forth conversations on multiple topics. Eye contact or joint attention. Joint attention is where somebody in the direction of where they're looking. Safety, too many safety skills to name as well. It can go in the area of self-care as well. So how to not touch a hot stove, how to cross a street, how to buckle a seatbelt, or ride a bike. How to respond to others, whether that be a response that you want to have somebody tell somebody that they don't like something, or maybe how to, sorry, we'll just skip to the next one. And then initiating play or interactions with others. So how to teach those skills to individuals with autism or any other neurodiversity. These skills can be taught through direct instruction or natural environment teaching. So how do we teach some of these behaviors? You might be wondering. It's going to depend on a series of questions that you may need to ask yourself. So it's going to be the environment that the learner is in. What kinds of behaviors are we needing to teach? Who needs to be involved in teaching, whether it be peers, parents, siblings, therapists, teachers, community members. Where are the places that the learner needs to practice these skills? When is the most beneficial time for the learner to work on or practice these skills? What materials are needed for the learner to be successful? And before teaching in another environment. So these are questions if you are a teacher or working directly with any type of children or adults with developmental disabilities. Several of these things should cross your mind before starting teaching a new behavior. So looking at some ABA teaching formats, we have one-on-one direct instruction. We have within a natural setting and a group setting. But tonight I'm just going to be talking about direct instruction and teaching in a natural setting. So let's start to unpack direct instruction. It is a teaching of a very specific skill in a structured and contrived setting. A therapist will break down seemingly a large skill into small learnable chunks. They may use the same items, phrases, or words for learning so that the student or the learner picks up on things more quickly and has a better understanding of what they're being asked to do. And hopefully building upon other learned skills, then you teach new ones in a sequence. And it's for anyone. So whether you're teaching someone how to pack a suitcase or teaching them calculus, you can do this through direct instruction. So still packing what natural environment here will frequent. So whether that's a classroom, the hallway, home, at the grocery time to help with learning. And then here you're using a variety of phrases or words that the learner may come up with. So for example, name, and the person says their name, teaching a variety of phrases like, can you tell me your name? What's your first name? Those are different phrases that would still elicit the same response, but you would need to teach the variety of phrases or words in order to get that same response. So direct instruction, the who, where, and how long, it's typically done within a classroom setting, in home, or in a clinical setting. It is one-on-one, and taking skills that need to be worked on as part of a curriculum or an assessment of the skills need to be taught. So this could be looking at typically within a session, there's breaks throughout for movement and access to conduct direct instruction. This isn't like a drill session. We're working on something very challenging for somebody for an hour. And coming up, that'll show you just a short example of what direct instruction may look like in a clinical setting. The video will have a young boy as the learner and a woman as the instructor, and they are working on imitating or filling in simple phrases.
Ready, set, go! Try. Daniel. Little lamb. Good job. You say, big dog. You try. Big dog. Good job. Yeah. Big dog. Goose. Good job. Here you go.
In natural environment teaching, the who, what, where, and how long, the who is learners with other peers, novel or new people, other teachers, or relevant people in the environment. So for example, if we're going to be teaching crossing the street safely with either a parent or a sibling or a peer, we would need those necessary people to be present with us while we're working on those skills. The what, again, these would be skills taken from the curriculum or an assessment or something that the parent or teacher has indicated is something that the learner needs to work on. And there's no set time for how long you should be working on this skill. It should be towards the most independent response that the learner can demonstrate. So hopefully with crossing the street, you may not be working on that every day, but you should continue to work on it until the skill has been mastered. And then where is anywhere the skills need to be taught or need to be demonstrated. So again, that could be in the classroom, that could be out in the community, that could be with peers in the lunchroom or out at recess. Coming up is a video of a natural environment teaching session.
Ready? What color is it? What color is it? What color? Green. Green. Color. Orange. Yellow. Orange. Orange. This one's orange. That's orange. Yeah. That's the shape. This is red. Red. Good job. Purple. Purple. Pink. Pink.
So hopefully everyone was able to see a little bit of a difference in what that would look like in the direct instruction. It is a back and forth of the therapist is asking a learner to demonstrate the skill and the learner demonstrates the skill, but it's done in a very structured way. In the second video with the learner and the blocks, it's hopefully a little bit more fun because you're using things that the learner likes and done in a setting where this could be a room, this could be, the corner of a classroom, but there's other things around and done in a more natural way of, a parent sitting with a child and working on colors or stacking or different things like that. So in my mind, whenever I think of direct instruction versus natural environment teaching, this comes to mind. You have the business suit, very structured, kind of black and white approach versus laid back, let's have fun, it's whatever. So those are kind of two things that I think about when I think of what is direct instruction versus what is natural environment teaching. So why would somebody want to choose direct instruction? Well, the learner may need to learn the skill first in a very predictable and concrete way. If they have one-on-one help, they can guide or provide prompts that are provided immediately. So for example, if you have somebody in the bathroom that's needing assistance with washing their hands, but they don't have that help with them, they may miss steps or may not wash their hands at all if that's something that they're struggling with. The learner has a history of not responding very well to a large setting or a different environment. That may be a reason to choose direct instruction, whether that be it's too distracting, too noisy, too many different things happening that they just aren't responding well to that. If the learner has some interfering behaviors that may disrupt learning in a larger group experience, then you may need to choose direct instruction. You're able to teach skills very quickly because you have that immediate feedback, immediate prompts from somebody assisting you with that. And then if you are in direct instruction, the therapist or the teacher can control for variables that may affect responses. So for example, if you're working on, let's say, an addition problem, and the learner has difficulty counting, you can potentially provide manipulatives or some written visual immediately that can assist with that learner picking up on what they need to do for addition much quicker than they could just given a math worksheet in a group of other students. Then why would you want to choose natural environment teaching? You're able to teach skills freely in an environment that the person spends the most time. So that might be more enjoyable for the learner to be in a place where they really like the things that are around them or like having peers around them. The person can access feedback immediately from peers, teachers, family members, community members. So, for example, if they're working on greetings or starting a conversation, that may be difficult in a one-on-one setting to get interaction back because there would be no peer available. So if they're working on like getting somebody's attention, they can see immediately like, well, what I was doing wasn't working to get the peer's attention. Or with a family member, let's say they're asking for certain food items, they can get that item immediately from the family member if they're working on requesting with them. It is discreetly taught skills that may generalize more quickly to all environments or people. So that sentence basically means if they're learning a skill one-on-one and they have done really well with it and mastered it, and it's introduced to other people, other environments, that they will generalize that skill. So they would demonstrate it with other people and in other environments. And then again, it can be more fun. It can look like play, or I'm just interacting with my mom or my siblings. Overall, the reason why we would choose one versus the other in teaching specific skills is looking at the data. So within applied behavior analysis, we're looking at increasing certain behaviors like communication, the social, or decreasing certain behavioral excesses. And so we would want to look at the data to see what is the best setting, how are we going to teach that skill, what are the skills that needed to be taught, all those from all of those components from the previous slide where we broke down how to teach or how to decide what to teach. And I have some information directly from the Autism Speaks website. So ABA therapy programs can help specifically increase language and communication skills, improve attention, focus, social skills, memory, and academics, decrease problem behaviors. And then behavior analysis has been around since the 60s. And just like the sentence The second sentence says they've helped many kinds of learners gain different skills from healthier lifestyles to learning a new language. And that is directly from the website. ABA is considered an evidence-based practice by the U.S. Surgeon General and the American Psychological Association. But autism is not the only disability that is in schools today. There is a huge neurodiversity movement. And if you look around this color wheel, you can see all the different neurodiversity that is represented here, and autism is just one of many. So with that being said, it's no doubt that teachers are encountering a large variety of diverse learners in the classroom setting. And what I would like teachers to come away with this is to recognize each student's strengths and talents, that many neurodivergent learners have a lot of special strengths that, when noticed and appreciated, help them thrive in the classroom. So, for example, students with autism spectrum disorder are often detail-oriented and can help problem solve in distinct but equally helpful ways. And then provide multiple ways of learning. No two students learn the same way. For example, some students may do better with math online than in a lecture-style instruction, or one student may need visuals, whereas others may need a hands-on experience to remember concepts. And that is taken from the University of San Diego and their special education teaching master's program. And I love this quote. This is from Dr. Ivar Lovaas, who is the grandfather of modern ABA. And his quote is, "If they can't learn the way we teach, we will teach the way they learn." So it's important to go into teaching whatever concept that a learner needs to know in an open and flexible way, and being able to adapt and modify what you're doing to make sure that the learner is picking up new skills and overall just living a more independent and healthy lifestyle. And lastly, here is my contact information, and I hope you guys enjoyed and got something from the training. If you have any questions or want to reach out, please feel free to email me, and thank you. Do I need to get out of Zoom? Just end the meeting?
Yeah, and it'll start.